What's going on, guys? Max, aka Immature here, bringing you guys Lite-feet hat trick tutorial part 1 for beginners. The moves I'm going to teach you today are called offs. What our offs are basically how you take your hat off to get into other moves and to get into all your combos. Before I get started, you will want a flat billed hat, flat brimmed hat. Whether it's a snapback or a 59 fitted, it doesn't really matter. You can do different things with each. For this, I'm using a fitted hat. So if you have a fitted, do that. If not, it works just the same for offs with a snapback. And also, I'll refer to the front of the hat is the brimmy or brim. That's the name for it. And then other people just call this the head or the cap. So that's your little history on this hat. And so yeah, let's get right into it. So the 4 basic offs are: 1, you have your 2-handed off, your 1-handed off, and then if your hat lands behind you from the back, your other off. The only real move is the first off that I showed you, this one. But the other 3, they do have technique to them, so don't skip ahead just to watch the one, because without knowing the basics of this, it can mess up a lot of your tricks. So let's get right into it. So the first move I showed you, the only move technically, is this one. This move, it's extremely easy. It's easy to use when doing hat tricks. And how you do that is you start with your hat on your head, or not on your head, whatever. But you do want it facing like this on you. Start by taking whatever your dominant hand is. I'm right-handed, I'll do it with my right hand. Is taking your hand and putting it straight out. Next, you're just going to bend it so you get this nice right angle in your arm, like that. Then you're going to put it up to your head, like this, so that the brim right here on the back is touching just about that much of your front of your arm. Then the other part, once it's here, once it's here, you're going to move your head down in the opposite direction and move your hand or your arm under. So again, it's just simple like this, moving your head around. And then some people, they'll get it on their hand and they'll say, well, how can it just stay like that? Well, from the side, you're also having the side of the head touch your muscle here. So you have the front like that and the side like that. So it's still supporting it. And that's why it's important to keep this right angle. You don't want your arm open too much. You don't want it closed too much, because the hat will, it'll be unbalanced and it'll fall off. And that's your basic off. The next one is your 2-handed off, which looks like this. Simple. For this, when it's on your head, you're going to be using these 3 fingers: your middle finger, pointer finger, thumb. So when you do this, take your middle finger, and it's going to grab just a little bit on your first crease of your hat. It should be sectioned off into 6 or 8 different sections. It's hard to notice, but you'll see it more on your hat if it has it. And so your middle finger will be it'll be on the brim right about at that first crease closest there. Then your pointer finger will be on the head, just where the head meets a little bit behind where the brim is connected, right there. And then your thumb will be on the opposite side, just barely on the brim. And from the other side, first crease, hat, and where it touches the brim. And you're basically just doing that, taking it off from the side, other side. That's all it is. The next off is your basic off, which is just simply putting your hand slightly opened if you want, or closed directly in the center of your hat, with your thumb directly in the back of your hat, and just taking it off. That's all it is. And for the back, it's the same thing, just off. That's all it is. It's just the same thing in the center and taking it off. Those are your main 4 offs. And just to recap, the only move in this tutorial basically is put your arm out, make that right angle, put your hat on there, lower your head, move it around. There it is. If you guys like this tutorial, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.